Hey, it's Bitty Penny. Welcome to my channel. Today it's time for the Sheetload and a big announcement. So make sure this is a collab, and this is the creative team of Alicia's Call Me Crafty Owl's Sheetload team. This month we have a very special guest, and it's Karen Aiken. And she is wonderful. She used to be on a Sheetload team. She's super sweet, very talented, has a YouTube channel. Definitely go check it out. And if you download the PDF, when you have it open, you'll be able to use the bit.ly link. But this is the Sheetload this month. It's a mini slimline, and I'm using my very own products. You guys, this is the first time that I even got to sit down with my brand new paper pad and stamp pad and play along. You saw, like a flash, I took the other paper pad out, but I'm using this one today. It's called Page Turner Volume 1. I am so excited to have these. I have spent a whole lot of time designing and developing these and getting them ready. I'm a paper lover, and I love the Sheetload. I love sketches, and I just thought of a way to design paper pads, especially for 5x7 card makers, but for all card makers and even junk journalers. Just a different way to present images to people, and I cannot wait to see what others make with these. They are not released yet. This is your sneak peek. It's a preview. I'm hoping to launch these in mid-September, so make sure to subscribe, hit the bell, turn all notifications on so you'll know when this paper pad and stamp are available to the public. So let's get into the Sheetload. I definitely made it my own this month, and I'm keeping the size the same, but I'm cutting differently. So this is my card base that I'm about to cut right now. And on the 11-inch side, I'm going to cut at 5 3/4. Okay, and this is my scrap. I'm going to turn it and then cut to 6 1/4, and then turn it back to the 5 3/4, and I'm going to score it 3 1/2. Basically, I'm not folding anything back, and this gave me a nice big piece of scrap paper that I could actually turn into a slightly smaller A2 card. Okay, these are the scraps that were left over. I'm keeping this little piece, and I actually use that to decorate all of my cards today, which you'll see. And when I make adjustments to the Sheetload, I do like to make notes, and this time I made it on a index card and just stapled it back to the back of my Sheetload so that I can remember the ways that I changed it and made it my own. Now I have 12 card bases, and now I have these scraps, and I wanted to show you, if you cut it this way, you'll have a piece that's 8 1/2 by 5 1/4. So it's just a 1/4 inch smaller than an A2, but I think if you score it on the 8 1/2 inch side at 4 1/4, you could definitely take all 12 of these pieces and just make some cards that are slightly smaller than A2. They're just a 1/4 inch shorter. And it would be a great way to use up these scraps and have no scraps left over. I love that Alicia use the no scraps, and let me tell you that there's different ways to use the Sheetload this month, and I'm going to leave everything linked in the description box down below, all the creative team and Karen's links and all the information. Okay, I wanted to give you some cutting ideas for using my paper pads. So I do plan on my paper pads kind of being ephemera heavy. So the idea that I have is that you don't have to buy a separate pack of ephemera. You just buy a paper pad, and then you would have a lot of ephemera and pattern papers all in one place. I tried to design it so that trimming and cutting would be simple. So I do most of the trimming on my paper pad, on my paper trimmer, but then some of it I also do by hand. These are inspired to look like enlarged stamps or little book covers, and this paper pad is geared towards just readers, book lovers, all of that stuff. So there's bookshops, it's geared for all ages. And then I kind of tried to represent the different types of reading. You know, we've got adventures and science fiction and mystery and fantasy and westerns, and all kinds of stuff are depicted in the images that I created here. And then there's a lot of patterns. I will say there is, the colors are very saturated and strong, and so it'll be good to bring in different solid colored papers, which I'm going to show you as well. So I took that 6x8 sheet of paper and I cut it down. I got 2 3x6 pieces and 1 2x6, which was perfect. From that one sheet of paper, I got a few pieces. I got 2 inside pieces for these cards and 1 outside piece. Now there are other ways that we could cut this, and if y'all are interested, we could explore that some more this month as I reveal more about my paper pads and my release and the opening of my shop, which will be at bittypenny.com. So yeah, we could always explore all the different ways that you could cut and use the Sheetload. Like, you don't have to put a 3-inch piece on the inside. You could just put like a 1-inch strip and your paper could go even further. Now, when I designed my paper pads, I designed so that you get 4 identical sheets. So you get 12 patterns, but 24 sheets. And that way, hopefully, I at least feel like when I get 4 sheets of one design that I don't have that hoarding tendency and I tend to play with my supplies more. Here, I cut this down to 6 inches, and I'm going to use that 2-inch piece on the outside of a card. And then this 6x6 piece now that I have right here, I'm going to turn and cut to 3x6. And this one, I'm cutting to 3x6, and then I'm just going to move it over and cut that piece to 3x6 as well. And I don't mind that seam. In a couple of my cards, I have that seam kind of, as you would see, between the 2 different patterns. But that one in particular really just works because it's like the card catalog and the library cards next to each other. So also be really, open-minded when you think about how you're cutting your paper, because sometimes what we would see as a definite seam, like this one, between 2 different patterns, you may be able to take it, cut it, and use it in an unexpected way, and it'll work. So this piece is kind of the seam between 2 different patterns. But by the time I put a piece on top, you won't really notice that. And then you also always have the option of splitting it in half as well. I did bring in 1 sheet of solid colored cardstock. I cut it down to 6 inches, and then on the 11-inch side, I'm cutting it to 2 inches. And this is giving me a way to decorate more of those front panels without using more of my patterned paper cardstock. So I wanted to suggest this idea as well. I put my stamp set to use today. I just knew I had to design a stamp set to go along with this paper pad because I wanted so many different types of stamps. I love books, and I figured anyone who was interested in this would enjoy not only great quotes, but labels so they can put from the library of. It has like currently reading. It has some great sayings for making cards for students, like today a reader, tomorrow a leader, read, dream, achieve, and different things like that. But this really is geared for all ages. This is a builder stamp set, so I designed it so that you could embellish your sentiments. I will be showing more of that, and you'll see more of that actually in this video without me physically showing it to you, but by looking at the examples of the cards that I made here today. I really wanted to share this in the Sheetload because it was when I was making a sheet load that I had the concept for these paper pads, and so it felt like the right time to share this with others. I was hoping to launch my business today on September 2nd, but it didn't work out. That's okay. That's why we're gearing towards mid-September. But I have my sheet load of cards. Here they are. This one has a cute little like bookshop window, and then I imagine that being the inside of the bookshop. Here's another one. I really love the way that these came together. This one says, "Our love story is my favorite," and I put a little romance book cover on the inside. And then these are geared for students. I'm doing a card challenge. I'm challenging people to make cards for students and teachers and to leave them at their public schools with words of encouragement and kindness. Not don't write in them, but just make cards that are encouraging. Students need encouragement sometimes, and you could just leave them in the front office, and the counselor or teachers could fill them out and give them to students who need a pick-me-up. So all of September, I will be making cards for our local schools, and I want to encourage you to do the same. So these are just going to be perfect for that. It's very serendipitous. I didn't have that in mind when I designed these papers. I designed these papers over a month ago, but I like the way everything's coming together. I hope you'll hop along, use the playlist so you can see what everyone on the creative team has made, and go get you a sheet load. They're free. All right, talk to you later. Bye.